Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be looking at r/ best of Redditor updates, and it's all kicking off over a wedding. Pretty classic for Reddit, I feel. So if you want to unpack that with me today, then please do stick around and enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Thank you. So this one was shared to the subreddit by Lucy Aria Rose, and the title says, "Brother-in-law's fiance claims my family never RSVP'd, but I'm the only one without a seat." So obviously, Lucy Aria Rose is not the person who originally made this post. They are the person who has compiled it and put it into Best of Redditor updates for us, so that obviously we can have a good little nosy. It was originally posted June 20th, 2025. This is a throwaway because I'm not quite ready for all of my husband's family to get involved, I think. I'm still reeling and trying to process this, so bear with me. My brother-in-law is getting married soon. My husband is the best man, and our 4-year-old is the ring bearer. I'm a part-time party planner, so I've been helping plan a small luncheon for the bridal party, immediate family, and a few vendors on the wedding day, so I'm not exactly a fringe guest here. The RSVP deadline was a few weeks ago. I filled out the online form and submitted it the same day the invitation came in the mail, with my husband sitting right next to me. We RSVP'd for the 3 of us, me, my husband, and our son. Easy peasy, right? Well, brother-in-law's fiance, sister-in-law, reached out today over text saying we never RSVP'd, so I'm assuming that the brother-in-law means that it is your husband's brother? Maybe? Not, "Hey, I never saw your RSVP, just checking," but straight up, "You didn't respond," which is frustrating on its own, but then she tells us that while my husband and son have seats at the reception, as they were in the part of her original head counts, I do not. My husband was told I could come early with him to set up the luncheon still and stay for the ceremony, but that I would not have a spot at the reception. I would tell her where to swing off to and all, the cheeky mare. Let me repeat that. I'm married to the best man, mother of the ring bearer, helping with the wedding day logistics, including connecting sister-in-law with some of my professional contacts, and she somehow decided I just wouldn't be coming, and she never followed up before the RSVP deadline. Just what? I'm torn between feeling hurt, furious, and just flabbergasted. And used. I definitely feel used. At best, this was a sloppy mistake that she's not owning. At worst, it feels like a pointed exclusion. I'm not sure which stings more. My husband is going to handle the conversation with his brother to figure out what is going on, because I genuinely don't trust myself to be polite and keep the peace. There was no other drama leading up to this that I was aware of. I have a good relationship with my in-laws, so yeah, this is totally out of left field for me and my husband. I would love to hear thoughts, especially from people who've gone through something similar. I don't typically touch weddings with work, so this is all new territory for me as a pseudo-vendor/guest. My husband wants to reach out and talk to his brother first. So yeah, it's the husband's brother. But I'm so tempted to reach out to my mother-in-law before our usual meetup tomorrow to see if she knows anything. I have a feeling, considering this is Reddit, that this was done very purposefully. For what reason? I think we're going to find out, but I can't fathom. Jealousy, perhaps? Maybe maybe the sister-in-law, future sister-in-law, is threatened by you for some reason? Very strange. I don't get it. Hella cheeky, though, to expect you to bloody vendor for her and then just be like, "Cheers, thanks for doing that, for free. Now piss off." Like, what? Some of OOP's comments. Commenter: "You are smart to wait and let Hubs talk to his brother. I'm flabbergasted also. This is freaking nuts, and this is coming from someone who is totally laid back and not someone who usually takes things personally. Just try to take your mind off it and see what Hubs reports. Go from there." OOP: "I'm usually pretty laid back too. I haven't seen the texts yet, but Hubs called on his lunch break when he saw them, and I have not heard him this pissed in a long time. I'm trying to give sister-in-law the benefit of the doubt, but this feels very personal and intentional." Commenter: "Cancel the luncheon. If you're not welcome at the wedding, there is no need for you to do free labour." Yeah, exactly. OOP. I think I'm going to do this no matter what the outcome is. It puts mother-in-law and father-in-law in a bit of a lurch since they're handling the food costs, but I don't know. I know I'm biased because I'm in the middle of it, but I feel like there should be some consequences. Absolutely. Because there's no way, if you didn't RSVP, knowing that you're going to be catering for her, that she would think you weren't coming, especially if your husband and your son are. Mini update 1, same post 1.5 hours later, edit 1 from comments. Small update, husband and brother-in-law are talking now. Brother-in-law was not working today, last night, and was helping father-in-law with something this evening. When I called mother-in-law, she and brother-in-law called husband right away. From what mother-in-law and I can hear, we're Snoopy. My husband was muted on brother-in-law's phone and my contact was deleted. What? Brother-in-law can't log into the wedding website, so we can't check to see if our RSVP was there. I'm not sure if I want to become a firecracker myself or get some popcorn as I watch mother-in-law pop off. So the insinuation there is that the future sister-in-law has muted the brother-in-law's phone number, so like any texts or calls that come through don't come through with a notification, and then completely blocked the OP? Weird. Mini update 2, same post, 2 hours later, 3.5 from original post. Edit 2 from comments. Okay, here's the last update for the night. I am tired and a bit overwhelmed by all of your responses. I'm sorry I haven't replied to them all, but I have read most of them. Again, thank you for your advice and just general support during this really weird and upsetting time. TLDR, brother-in-law don't know and now the wedding is up in the air. He's currently staying with mother-in-law and father-in-law to have some space from sister-in-law. So, my husband finally got a hold of brother-in-law after I called mother-in-law. No one else knew this was going on. While they were talking, brother-in-law tried logging into their wedding website to see if this was a mistake or a misunderstanding, but couldn't log in. So he texted his sister-in-law to see if she changed the password, and she just told him to come home instead. This set off 3. 1. Brother-in-law ended the call with husband to call sister-in-law about why she couldn't answer a simple question. 2. Mother-in-law popped off about how dare that woman exclude OP. I love that mother-in-law is on your side. 3. Mother-in-law and father-in-law popped off on brother-in-law for already living with sister-in-law. They are very religious and traditional and don't believe that a couple should live together before marriage. Husband and I sympathise with brother-in-law. Okay. How did they not know? Brother-in-law and sister-in-law argued over the phone. Apparently, she started claiming that I was an unfortunate glitch and it was too late to add another seat now. Then it was that we never jived and would it really be so bad if I went home early? Plus I could take our son home with me because he would be tired by then. At 5 p.m? This woman does not know kids, I swear to God. Literally. I have a wedding to go to with mine in July. And I was speaking to them the other day and they were like, oh, you know, I totally understand if you have to leave early. It'd be great if you could stay till the end, but I understand because of the kids. And I was like, ha, 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 ha. Those little pet DNAs of mine don't sleep. Don't you worry about it. Editing me just popping in to say, and don't worry, it is my mum's wedding. It's not somebody who's trying to hint, please don't keep your kids too long. She has told me she wants me to stay until the end if I can, because I am a bridesmaid and she's going to want my help with, you know, peeing in a wedding dress. So this is not me ignoring a hint. I'm just going to put that out there before anyone thinks that. Then it was, I've always been mean and excluding her from things, even though she's never invited me to any of the girly fun wedding events. At this point, my husband and I are glued to my phone as we're hearing yelling from all 4 of them until sister-in-law hangs up. I love that you and your husband are just sat there like, hee hee. Brother-in-law is spending the night at his parents' and is unsure about the wedding now. He plans on going home tomorrow, with husband going for moral support. I'll be going with hubby to my in-laws to hang out until we hear back about the situation at the battlefront. Some more of OOP's comments. OOP adds, just interjecting here, I just basically almost shit myself because I thought there was someone in my house talking, like a grown man, and I don't have a grown man that is in my house unless one of the cats has learned to talk. It was not. It's my child's TV. They've fallen asleep with it on and I just had not noticed. It scared the life out of me. I initially wasn't invited to the bridal shower. Then her mum brought it up at Easter dinner, and that's when I was awkwardly I guess her vibe always felt off to me. She doesn't like my hobbies, specifically TTRPGs and video games. I just can't understand why you would be beefing with someone who's into TTRPGs and video games. Like, how can you have beef with one of the most placid groups of people? They're hobbies I have in common with mother-in-law, and sister-in-law stopped bashing them as much when she found out mother-in-law also partakes in quests across Tamriel and the Forgotten Realm. I love that! I love that mother-in-law is into that too, because she's going to be extra offended on your behalf then now. Mini update 3, in comments, 2 hours later. Sorry, one more teeny 1am update. Husband is asleep. I should be too, but still reeling and pissed. I thought to take a screen cap of the message she sent hubby for future proof, and it's gone. She used Facebook Messenger to text my husband, and it says her texts are deleted. Dare I say, ah! Update post, June 22nd, 2025, 2 days from OG post. Can I just say I love how this feels like having a proper little gossip with a friend about something ridiculous that's happened. Like, reading this feels like having a giggly gossip, doesn't it? Title, update, brother-in-law's fiance claims my family never RSVP'd, but I'm the only one without a seat. Or, OP can't sleep after word vomiting this in her journal, so why not post the update? So hi! To preface, I did not expect my post to blow up in the way it did. Several commenters mentioned it just popped up in their recommended, and holy geez, it got way bigger than I could have ever imagined. So, thank you, I think. It's super overwhelming on top of the real-life soap opera I'm living through this weekend. I can imagine. Just to clarify something from the original post, I did not plan everything for the wedding. I offered to bring food for a small luncheon between photos, 10am, and the ceremony, 4pm, as dinner wasn't planned until 6pm. It was going to be a long day at a farm in the middle of nowhere. I offered to do it to be nice, but also to make sure no one, specifically a certain 4-year-old, would be hangry for the ceremony. Is that your specific 4-year-old, OP? I've already told the person whose wedding I'm going to in July that I am bringing a box of cereal for my youngest. They have like a really restrictive diet and they are also constantly hungry, like a tiny swarm of locusts. So I've already said I will be bringing a little box of cereal, not to eat during the ceremony, but like in between all the different bits. And they were like, no, that's fine. It's totally fine. Also, I'm kind of worried that they won't eat any of the food. And they were also like, yeah, that is absolutely fine. Sister-in-law also only used one of my vendor contacts. So with things going south, my professional reputation shouldn't really be impacted. Update, turns out the no seat for OP issue was the problem that broke brother-in-law's relationship. And we're a bit upset brother-in-law didn't talk to anyone about this until it blew up. Oh, so is it safe to say the relationship is over now? Perhaps? I hope. Behind the scenes, brother-in-law and sister-in-law were having arguments about their future together. Most of these arguments centred around having kids. Early on, sister-in-law gave the impression that she wanted children someday. But as they got more serious, she started backtracking. A few months ago, brother-in-law realised that it's very likely sister-in-law never wanted kids, but felt too invested in the relationship to leave. But brother-in-law always imagined having a large family, so this really shook him. On top of that, sister-in-law apparently had jealousy and insecurity issues. No! Really? Per brother-in-law, I've been her latest target, ? Which started when I turned down going to a mani-pedi with her. Why did I turn her down? Husband and son had rotavirus. Rotavirus? It's rotavirus. Oh, come... Okay, let's Google this quickly so I'm... have the full information. What is... Oops, can't spell. Rotavirus. Rotaviruses are the most common cause of diarrheal. I hate words. disease amongst infants and young children. So shitting through the eye of a needle, basically. Lovely, lovely. Yeah, you're not going to want to go and sit and have your toes painted while you're firing out the back door uncontrollably. Apparently I was icing her out by not wanting to spread gastrointestinal doom. Can anyone else explain this logic to us? Lastly, sister-in-law was apparently already floating the idea of disinviting our son from the reception because he would have been the only small child there. Brother-in-law shut that down immediately, and mother-in-law and father-in-law kept that knowledge from us to spare our feelings. Ergo, our lost RSVP was not a software glitch, nor was it an oversight, but rather stupidly calculated move. Sister-in-law was apparently hoping one of the two things would happen. Either I would make a scene about being disinvited and be seen as the problem, or we would quietly accept our fate and she would not have to deal with the two undesirables at her reception. Clearly the sister-in-law is a sandwich short of a picnic to think that that would work. Especially with how close that family sound. With all of this in mind, I can't figure out why she would have messaged my husband instead of me. Was she trying to cause more family drama? Again, the logic is not logicking. Brother-in-law was already feeling some uncertainty because of the shifting kids-no kids conversation, but the deliberate seating stunt gave him the last push and clarity he needed. Brother-in-law told my husband it was a level of manipulation and cruelty that he could not overlook. So he ended things and asked for the ring back. Yeah, because it just goes to show that she is quite happy to just lie, like through her back teeth, doesn't it really? No wedding, no reception, just a super messy, emotionally heavy and expensive breakup. I feel so bad for brother-in-law. He's going through so much heartache right now, but he deserves better in a partner. Hopefully sister-in-law can find a family dynamic that doesn't feel like a never-ending battlefield. I hope sister-in-law never finds happiness because she sounds like a bellend. That's mean. I don't care. That's all for now. I'm still tired, I'm still flabbergasted, but I'm also relieved this wedding arc is coming to an end. Some of OOP's comments. Commenter, your non-sister-in-law is an idiot. And then OOP says, you'll hear no arguments from us. Commenter, aw, poor brother-in-law. Expensive heartache, but glad he is out before an expensive divorce. He will find somebody for him. Take some rest, y'all. Yeah, honestly, that is a very good point, because she would have bled him dry in a divorce, I fear. OOP, I know he will find someone that will be perfect for him. I'm still annoyed with him though. He was lamenting being old and alone at dinner, and I was like, honey, you're the baby of the family. Have some more fries and shut up. Commenter, a couple of things. One, the trash is taking itself out. My heart goes out to your brother-in-law, but I reckon with the full support of your incredible family, future him is going to look back on all of this and be so proud of how he handled it as well as every member of your family. That's a huge acknowledgement of how solid you all are. 2. Have your brother-in-law get ahead of all the counselling. Help him reach out to guests on both sides and offer to bake cookies or something and deliver them to local guests, maybe as a gesture of good faith. Everyone will remember that kindness. I mean, I don't see why you would need to. It's not them that were getting married. It's not the guests. Like, you don't need to be apologetic and grovel to the guests because, you know, sister-in-law turned out to be a mega bellend and now it's not going ahead. I'm pretty certain all the guests will be quite happy that it's not going ahead when they realise what she's like. Perhaps not the guests from her side, but... 3. We're all so proud of you. Many of us would have gone scorched earth, but cooler heads prevailed. Take a break, babes. You'll deserve it. Yeah, honestly, I just love the way that OP just went, well, this is messed up, but let's have a giggle about it anyway. It does go to show that obviously OP knew all along that they had the support and they knew that, you know, the right people would see through it and be on their side. And that does say a lot about the family dynamic, because for the OP to be so calm about it, you need to know that your family will have your back. And obviously they did. How ex-sister-in-law reacted. Ooh, I guess I actually have been dying to know this. Per brother-in-law, there was a lot of begging and crying. There was also anger and accusations that he was cheating with me. Ew. Is she the type to cheat? I wonder, has she been cheating all along? Because it's quite often, isn't it, that the person who is accusing so much out of absolutely nowhere for ridiculous reasons usually has a guilty conscience and is projecting. Followed by professions of love and offers to go to therapy. She also kept taking the items he was packing up out of his bags until he called my husband to come in and be another set of eyes. Editor's note, marked as concluded because OOP said in the comments that she didn't plan on updating anymore. I'm kind of gutted. I like the way that the OP wrote. So then down in the comments of the Best of Redditor Updates post, Brielle Russell 333 quotes the OP saying a few months ago brother-in-law realised that it's very likely sister-in-law never wanted kids but felt too invested in the relationship to leave. But brother-in-law always imagined having a large family, so this really shook him. For fuck's sake, this is such a fundamental difference that can't be overcome. No matter how good the rest of the relationship is, why do people still stay together and let resentment build in such cases? Yeah, because literally once you've got kids, it's not something you can go back from. This is not Stardew Valley. You cannot turn them into doves when you've had enough of them. They are for keeps, forever. And then Sunny Climb says, it's always interesting to compare the straw that broke the camel's back to the anvil that preceded it. Not that what sister-in-law did to OOP wasn't bad, but damn, at scale, the thing about the kids stood out to me too. Pretty irreconcilable in my eyes, and not only that, but all the cheating accusations and insecurity and obviously like controlling behaviour over stuff like that. That's a big old red flag to me too, because like I said before, I do feel like when someone's going so hard on those things and so insecure about things like that when you've never given them reason to, I feel like it is projection really, isn't it? Okay, so I think that's all we've got time for today. That was a very enjoyable read. I feel like the OP should write books. I would read them. So yeah, if you made it all the way to the end with me, then I appreciate you very, very much. If you give a little like, subscribe, notifications on, that is your initiation into the cult of void. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Whatever it is you're doing for the rest of the day, I hope you have a really good rest of your day. Goodbye. Put on sunscreen if it's hot where you are, okay? Bye.